Looks right.
Yeah. Maybe I think it goes over the ear.
Yeah.
It might be tough with glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You got it on the wrong. What am I gonna do with you?
Are you ready again?
It's on. Are we doing an intro?
Yeah.
It's already live, so.
Welcome to the state of PA football as PA Football News presents its weekly look at high school football across the state.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in.
Did you know there are 555 total high school football programs in the state? Did you also know there are a total of 58 college programs ranging from D1 to D3 in the state of Pennsylvania? Whether you're a bulldog, a lion, a crusader, an eagle, or a millionaire, we got you covered.
You already know, turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die.
Here at PA Football News, we got you covered. And now, your host, Billy Splain.
All right, here we are live. It's the PA Football News Bracket Breakdown Show. We're live at Schuylkill Haven at Rotary Field. We're here to cover a game tonight. We're covering the Schuylkill All-Star game with the North and South team. This is going to be a fun game tonight. We're covering this game. But right now, what we're doing right now, guys, is we're breaking down the brackets. I'm Billy Splain. I'm the owner of PA Football News. This is the man behind the controls that you never see. This is Dan the Man Reed. We got Hollywood Tuschinski over here, and we got Mason Edgar right here to my right. So let's get started right away, guys. We're going into this show right now. We're breaking down the brackets. What a great weekend of football we had last week, huh?
God,
I mean, some great games. I was at a good game. You had a good game.
Yep.
Dan, your
had a good game.
It was a blowout, but it was a good game. Yeah. Some interesting scores. And how was your game, Mason?
It wasn't the greatest. Close in the beginning, Danville blew them out in the end. It wasn't a fun game, but, I mean, playoff football.
Danville's a good football team. Danville plays Wyomissing this week. You've seen Wyo. You've seen Danville.
So last couple weeks.
Yeah, so it's going to be an exciting weekend of football coming up. I got to see a couple of teams. I got to see Bald Eagle. Or no, I only saw one game, Bald Eagle area.
Oh, wow.
And that was a good game.
Okay.
Is that where I was?
Yeah, I believe it.
All right. Yeah, that's last week. I can't remember anything. But I guess the big story from last week was let's talk about that Nazareth game, guys. I mean,
Incredible.
Parkland's driving, and they're ranked high in our rankings. They're driving. They're going for the winning score. They're down by one. They needed to get in field goal range. They connect on a pass, but the Nazareth defender knocks the ball loose. They pick it up, and they run it back to close the game out and get the win. All the player had to do, and you can't teach them this, but all the player had to do was go down, guys.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah.
And he didn't go down, so
But when you're in that intense environment like that, you can always
so that's I mean, you can't teach a kid to go down, but that's all he had to do. And there was another game like that last year, or was that this year, where a kid just had to go out of bounds or take a knee, and they didn't, and they lost. So these are high school kids, but wow, what a finish that. And then another game I want to talk about is Imhotep struggled with Roman. What a great game that was down in District 12, Imhotep and Roman Catholic.
I I think that's a bad omen for Delaware Valley. Now, Imhotep is now they're mad that they just got past, and Delaware Valley comes in as this smaller physical football team that you expect can hold on a little bit, but Imhotep struggled. The coach is telling them, hey, this ain't easy. You guys can't just walk your way to the state title. They're going to take Del Val real seriously, and that's a bad spell for them.
Yeah, what a game, man. Let's talk about another team. Let's talk about Steel High. That's who I saw. Steel and Highspire. That's where I was. I was in the Bald Eagle. I was at the Steel High game. Steel High, Northern Bedford. Steel High, of course, everything Alex Irby does is throw touchdown passes and 400-yard games. Now, it was a downpour the entire first half of that game, and let me tell you something, guys. If the rain did not stop going into the second half, that might have been a different outcome, and we might not be seeing Steel High play this week. Northern Bedford played really good defense. Their only flaw was, and Gary Black talked to us after the game, and he said he just had no answers on offense. He couldn't do anything. Couldn't move the ball at all. Just couldn't move the ball. So no rain for about 5 minutes in the third quarter. Alex Irby connected on 2 long touchdown passes to Darrell Caesar. That's all she wrote for that game. That's all they needed.
It's going to be interesting to see how good Steel Highspire plays against that Lackawanna Trail offense with that triple option.
And they run the
Lackawanna game. They had Minersville crossed up on.
Yeah, if you never saw that offense, and I don't think Steel High has seen an offense like that yet.
Probably not.
And Steve Jervis, the coach at Lackawanna Trail, does a great job with that team. Yeah. He does.
And he's got help with his father, and who was at the game.
Uh-huh.
And I got to talk with him, and he said they do a different version of the wing team. It messes up.
Are we streaming?
Yeah.
The stream?
It's
bit rate
going
is slow. So the bit rate is slow. So check on the stream, Dan. Just make sure we're streaming. Pull it up on your phone.
Check it out.
But we may have to punt here in a few seconds and go with a different route because our internet connection is a little bit weak here. We had that problem here last year, if you remember, Dan.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure that we are streaming.
It looks like we are. So
we are. But our strength is low, so
freezing up, but otherwise it's going.
But anyway, I'm sorry about that pause here, guys. Dan, let's put you to work. Why don't you take a seat there? Let's thank some of our sponsors, okay, Dan?
All right.
So at this time, I want to thank a bunch of our sponsors right now. We're just going to go down the line. Dan's going to go to work, so we got to make Dan work. He's hiding behind that sign. We need to move this little signal up so we can't see you working. And we'll put our paper right here so we can't see Dan. But I want to thank Center West. Center West keeps me online, keeps PA Football News online. If you're in the Valley, up in Penns Valley, and you need internet, go to Center West. I want to thank also Circle W Sports. Without Circle W Sports, none of this happens. I mean, none of it. Like, Ed does everything. He builds our website. He does our data. He does a lot of stuff. He builds websites for schools, for athletic departments, and for all different kind of stuff. If you need something done on your computer, contact Ed Weaver at Circle W Sports. I want to thank Coach Com for being a sponsor on our website. Coach Com, we don't have Coach Com on our face. We're working on that, but the guys down on the field will have Coach Com. If you want to connect with your coaches up in the box, you want to have great communication, you want to have Coach Com. I want to thank the Funding Zone. I want to thank Mike and Mike and Mike, all the Mikes at Funding Zone. There's like 50 of them or something like that. If you need money for a program, for your football program, your lacrosse program, your basketball program, your soccer program, if you need money, they can raise money, and they do it in record amounts with their Blast program. So get a hold of the Funding Zone. By the way, you can find all the information to get a hold of all these people that we're talking about on our website. Just go to pafootballnews.com. Go Route, I want to thank Go Route for being there. Go Route is exploding right now. They're all over college. They're in the pros. They're expected to be used in college. They're working on a helmet app so that they can talk to their quarterbacks, which is something we need to do. They're in baseball now, and baseball teams are are signing up left and right. You can send your pitch designations right out to your pitcher. It's NFHS approved, so you can use it in a baseball game. I want to thank Rainbow Lettering. Hey, turn around. Look at this jacket right here. Look at this jacket he's wearing. Turn around again. Put it around. Show him that front end. Look at this. Rainbow Lettering provided that. Rainbow Lettering provided all the gear that we bought this year. They provide quality gear. This is a nice jacket. It's very quality. It's warm too.
Yes,
right. And quality stuff. So Rainbow Lettering, thank you very much. Another one of our huge sponsors I got to thank is Safer Sports. Safer builds a helmet cover for your helmet to help protect from concussions and help protect our players out there. We need to have a serious conversation about making every team in the state wear a Safer helmet cover on their helmets. You can't even tell it's there. It looks live. There are several, Virginia Tech uses them, and there are several different professional football teams that use Safer Sports. I want to thank Kevin James at Sports Paradise. If you need uniforms, sublimated uniforms, they're awesome. That's where the colors blend together. You definitely want to get a hold of Kevin James at Sports Paradise. He'll hook you up with uniforms for any program in your school. I want to thank Turf Tank. If you've got a grass field, got to thank Turf Tank. You got to get a Turf Tank. It's going to save you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. That guy can just program it in there and let it run by itself. It goes back and forth. It paints both sides of the grass a blade, so it's a nice even line. I want to thank Two Birch Winery. They were one of our Pro Time sponsors. Pro Time did a coach series earlier this year. Pro Time, Two Birch Winery up in DuBois. If you're looking for quality wine and gifts, head up to DuBois and hit the Two Birch Winery. I got to thank these guys right now. Victory Sports and Fitness. I was there today. They were working on my heel. I've got a bone spur on my heel. Rob Oshinsky's working on my bone spur and loosening my foot up, so I got to thank them. I got one more sponsor I want to thank. I want to thank I got a couple actually. I want to thank McGurk's for being a sponsor on our website. McGurk's, we did a couple of shows down there. Great place. What a wonderful place down in the Horsham and Fort Washington area. McGurk's was awesome. We got to thank Parma Pizza for being a sponsor on our website. We did 3 shows at Parma Pizza this year. Anthony Sodasani, great owner, wonderful guy, big supporter. He's also the head coach at Donegal. And finally, I want to thank St. Luke's Sports for being a sponsor on our show. St. Luke's Sports Medicine. I got to thank those guys. We're going to be working with them next year a lot. They sponsor a lot of our tweets that go out in our District 11 coverage. So got to thank St. Luke's for being a part of our website. And that's all for now, Dan. So let's get back into these brackets right now. I want to talk about the brackets. I want to talk about this big game out in the Whitfield. So the Whitfield's going to Acrisure Stadium this week. They've got their 4 games on Monday or on Friday, and they're excited to be there, and we're excited to cover it. We're going to have full coverage from Acrisure. We've got 6 guys going out there. Not 7, 6.
6.
That's right. Yeah. So I guess right off the bat, Fort Cherry and Southside. Fort Cherry is, I don't know, I wouldn't even call Fort Cherry a favorite. I would call this one a toss-up, guys. Matt Sig is doing great things. He's got a Penn State offer. He can run the ball. I'm excited to see this game. Fort Cherry Southside also has a quarterback that can sling the ball around, guys, and this is going to be an exciting one out there. The winner of that game plays the winner of the Cambridge Springs Red Bank Valley game. Cambridge Springs, of course, has a quarterback that was just racking up yards all year long. 12-1 out there. Talked to their coach the other day. He's excited. His kids are excited. They're ready to go. And Red Bank Valley, they've been scoring points by gobs. Of course, we saw Red Bank Valley down at the state championships a couple of years ago.
Yes, we did.
And they lost a close one. Coach Gold just keeps rebuilding out there in Red Bank Valley.
Yeah.
So that's the western side of the bracket. Guys, how about the eastern side?
Southern Columbia. I mean, last week I was seeing some highlights. That looked like it was 1927 in the rain and the mud. That looked disgustingly awesome.
It was.
With that game, it was 14-0 Southern. And Bald Eagle comes in, Southern Columbia. The pattern is we might struggle a little bit in the regular season as of late. Lost to Mount Carmel, lost a couple last year, but they're peaking at the right time. Defense running the football. It's simple, but it works. And Bald Eagles got their work cut out for them this game.
Yeah, Bald Eagles got a real tough, but that's 2A.
It's 2A, yeah.
Yeah, we're 1A.
Huh?
We're up in 1A. Lackawanna Trail, Seal High.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about, right? That's what I was looking at. You said what I was looking
He's
for.
new. He's new. We're
that's
going to forgive him. Lackawanna Trail and Steel and High Spire. Steel and High Spire, we talked about that a little while ago. Alex Irby, all he does is throw touchdown passes.
Lackawanna Trail's offense again. Their wing fatigue. Again, it had minor still. Defensive players all across stuff. And their defense, again, it's minor still. Deontay Carr, who's a fantastic quarterback. They got it down.
Yeah, they did a great job. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. That's going to be actually, I think that's one of the better matchups of the week. I mentioned earlier, or not earlier, I mentioned to someone else a little while ago today. I'm glad the rain stopped for Steel High because I hate to see weather affect the outcome of a game.
Yeah.
I like to see it where, okay, we're a throwing team, you're a running team, let's put it on field, let's see which one wins.
Right.
I prefer to see that.
Yeah.
Now, you were talking about that Southern Columbia game. I got a few tidbits about that, but let's move on to Williamsport High School. Williamsport, hey, you going to come out to Williamsport on Saturday night for something to do? There's a bunch of us going to be there. South Williamsport. Last week, South Williamsport ran 67 plays.
Wow.
They scored 57 points, not one pass.
One pass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not one pass. Cambria Heights is a surprise team in the brackets right now. Surprised to see them, but you got to see them this year. Very good football team, coached by Coach Stoffy. Great football team. Cambria Heights can score points. They've got a running back who can get loose, so that's going to be a great game. So anything can happen in this bracket. Anything can happen in any of these brackets.
Yeah, really.
I'm excited for that bracket.
I'm interested to see Lackawanna Trail, and credit to them, they have not really been in a close game in the playoffs. How will they react to an expected close game against Steel High?
Didn't they mercy roll every opponent this year?
so.
It's been pretty bad in the playoffs and regular season as well. How will they respond in an expected close game like this when they just used to, hey, third quarter backups in, fourth quarter backups in, expected to be down to the fourth quarter? I don't know if they're ready for it. Hopefully they can prove me wrong.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Moving on to 2A. You want to go right to the Western bracket, or to the bracket you were talking about, Southern Columbia?
Yeah, speaking of Southern, I mean, I haven't mentioned them all day today, but if you didn't know, they played in a rainy game last week. We're able to get a 14-0 win. Jim Roth, staple. Last few years, they've struggled in the regular season. Playoffs, run the ball with Garcia. Bald Eagle has a tough test for them. I think Southern probably right on a route to another state title.
Yeah, you can't. We learned our lesson last year. You don't bet against Southern Columbia.
Yeah, they're inevitable.
You just don't bet against Southern Columbia. My question is, and there was a controversy, and I want to set this controversy straight. All right, so if you're watching, and you were one of these people, Southern Columbia never asked to have the game moved.
Okay.
Jim Roth said to me, why would we have it moved? We beat them there last year. So we don't need to have it moved. And he said, as a matter of fact, it favors us over them because they were an all-speed team. They were speed. If it would have went to turf, it might have been different.
Okay.
When you win, it doesn't matter what sport. When you win, you're going to attract haters, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Southern, they win too much. They must
have
have.
a lot of haters.
All right.
Yeah. And where we're at right now, this team right here, Schuylkill Haven, they're going to look out for Schuylkill Haven next year.
Yeah, they're going
Look
to
out
be
for them.
loaded.
Bald Eagle area, Carson Nagel can throw the rock. He can throw the ball. He's got some weapons. Cale Burns, what a great little guy. He's just a little guy. He's like this big. And like, the problem is, Carson Nagel has not seen pressure like he's going to see. Isaac Carter and Colton Bloom coming at him. He's going to see a lot of pressure, and it's going to be pretty tough for Bald Eagle to get it done. But their offensive coordinator always has a couple bags in their tricks. Every week he brings something new out. Carson Nagel does have a quick release at times. He needs to learn in the next 2 days to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
He does tend to, once in a while, he'll tend to hold on to that ball.
I think he can jump by. He's going to have to get
Yeah.
the hands.
like you said, this feels like a trick game for Bart Eagle, like coming out of second half, onside kick or some stupid flip pass. It's split pass. It feels like starting the game, they kind of are already behind, that they need some kind of fluke plays to go their way. We'll see what they have up their trick.
It's going to be interesting. Steel Valley, Beaver Falls, Steel Valley, all year long, just very strong football team all year long. The Barksdale guys playing good football. They got a couple D1 recruits out there. Beaver Falls came out of nowhere. Every year, Beaver Falls ends up in Acrisure. I don't know how they do it, but they did it this year. Beaver Falls playing some good football at 8-5. So that's an interesting match.
You don't see too many teams with 5 losses get this
They're a 10
playoffs.
seed. They're a 10 seed going into Whitfields, and that's very rare.
Right.
Very rare.
Right.
10 seed. So that's at Acrisure. Dunmore and Camp Hill, guys. Dunmore's
back. They were down for a couple years.
Danny Piga.
Yeah, now they
running
got
the football
the program back to where it was.
Talk about a wing T offense. There's your wing T offense right there, Dunmore. He runs it. Kevin McHale runs that. They run that wing T very well there at Dunmore for the Bucks. Camp Hill. Camp Hill is a good 8-5. Their schedule is loaded. They've got some quality losses, if you want to call it that. And
They lose to,
4 of their 5 losses were by less than 1 score. So Camp Hill's doing good. Brian Brandsetter, the quarterback, can sling the rock. He's got about 1,800 yards in the air this year. He's doing a great job for Camp Hill. So don't count Camp Hill out. That's another one of those pass versus the wing T.
Run, yeah.
So that's another one of those matchups.
Talk a little louder, please.
Yeah, move your microphone up. There you go.
How's that? Is that better?
All right. Yep. So then we got Farrell and Westinghouse. Westinghouse, we know, was there last year.
Yeah. Back again.
Different kind of offense. Last year they were throwing the bomb. This year they're beating people, and they beat a team last week in Central Clarion that scores gobs of points.
Yeah.
And they shut them down. So their defense is pretty good.
I don't know a lot about Farrell, but you always see Farrell in there.
Yeah.
And they're in there again this year. Now Farrell is missing a couple of guys due to the transfer rule. So and they're studs, but you can't coach. You can't outcoach Anthony Peggs out there. You can only hope to hold Farrell down. So great matchup coming up there. The winner of that game, the Farrell game, will play the winner of the Southern Columbia Bald Eagle. Yep. So that they'll get that team, and then Dunmore, Camp Hill will play Steel Valley and Beaver Falls. Let's go to 3A. Let's start right off with the defending champs, Bell Vernon.
Bell Vernon loaded again, just like they were last year.
Almost the whole team pack.
Basically, yeah.
Quentin Martin.
Yeah, it's going to be how you're not going to stop him, but how can you limit him enough to where it's not you, no matter what you do, you lose the game. Have him limited as much as possible is the way for Avonworth to get the win.
Yeah, Avonworth is another one of those teams. They just grind it out and grind it out and grind it out. Bigarelli is back. He was injured for a while. He's back, scoring points for the Lopes. This could be a trap game for the defending champs. It could be. It all depends on what happens with, like you said, Quentin Martin. But they have a lot of weapons, and they've got Bell Vernon has kind of just cruised right in there, and not really relied on Quentin much that much this year. So big game, and then out at Mansion Park on Saturday or is it Friday night, Central Martinsburg. Central. Jeff Hohenstein's gone. We thought. Right? How wrong were we?
Yeah.
Very wrong being in that spot.
Yeah, 12-0. Tradition. Coach Hohenstein and the gang out there doing a great job. Hickory, of course. Hickory beat their rival Sharon last week. Great game. Hickory just keeps on rolling. Hickory is a standard pro-type offense, and they just come at you. Those guys beat the heck out of each other out there. Slippery Rock, Grove City, Sharon, Hickory, and Hickory came out on top. So congratulations to Hickory. Let's talk about the Eastern bracket, guys.
It's going to be a fun.
I'm going to let you guys talk about this one.
Well, Wyomissing Danville. I've seen Wyomissing play a couple times this year. basically a running type team. Nitroski, Eisenhower, they don't throw the ball much. Defense is solid, and it should be a really good game. They're going to be facing a really top-notch passing game with Danville, though.
I've seen Danville play twice. They're about as multi-dimensional as you could be. Everybody knows about Madden Patrick. He's statistically one of the best quarterbacks in the state. And Aaron Johnson's a touchdown away from getting the state touchdown record for touchdowns in a single season. Of course, he couldn't do it when I was there. He'll probably do it this week, right? Yeah. But last Friday against Loyalsock, they were able to run the football really well with Bo Sheptock, over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. If they can try to control that Wyomissing running attack, they don't have much to go. But like we saw against Loyalsock, if Danville's passing attack's not on fire, they can still hand the ball off and get 300 yards.
I talked to Bob Wolfram this week. Bob Wolfram is excited for his team again. He said we just keep reloading. He mentioned Danville. He said Danville is a very good football team, and they're going to have their game cut out for them.
I believe it could come down to another.
Yeah.
It could be. That's what happened.
They faced him how many times now? They faced him a couple times in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and Wyomissing's got the best of them.
What, 6 years ago they played them? Yeah, so yeah. Interesting. That's an interesting game right there. It's at Albright College.
Yep.
So Wyomissing did request a Saturday at 1 o'clock game like they always play. And Albright was not available. They had to move it to Albright because Wyomissing has grass.
Yes.
And you have to have turf to host a game. So next up, Northwestern Lehigh and Scranton Prep.
See Northwest. Go ahead.
They're just loaded on both sides of the ball, like you were saying earlier.
The offense and defensive line is just outstanding. They gave Shane Lay so much time to throw the ball, to look downfield for his receivers, and they just throttled a good Palmerton team last week, 58-8. They shut down Matt Mahalik, the 5,000 quarterback for Palmerton. They shut him down completely last week.
And it's next up against Scranton Prep with Louis Paris.
I think it's a little bit too much emotion for Scranton Prep. Pretty sizable upset against Newman Goretti. I don't know if they can come into this game against a really good Northwestern Lehigh and bottle that after a big win last week and then go out and do it again. I think it's a little bit too much for Scranton Prep.
It could be, yeah. I mean, that wasn't an easy game for them to get the win. It went right down to the wire against Newman Goretti, a good football team out of Philadelphia. So, hey, that's the first 3 brackets, guys. Let's take a break. Let's hear from some of our commercial sponsors, and then we're going to come back with the bracket show, sponsored by Turf Tank, sponsored by Go Route, and sponsored by the following sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michael Sikorsky from the Funding Zone, the #1 fundraising company in the state of Pennsylvania. If you need help raising funds for your program, please contact us at 570-885-0900. Thank you.
My name is Carlos Bradley. I'm a former NFL player and currently chairman of Safer Sports. What is Safer Sports? We are a soft shell technology company. Our product, the Safer Helmet Cover, has been tested at Virginia Tech Helmet Lab and is proven to reduce the risk of concussion by as much as 77%. So if you have a youth league, a high school or college, and you want to be safer, get in touch with safersports.com.
Go Route. It's been phenomenal. I think just the ability when you got guys from all over the state and everyone's got things going on and trying to get organized and practice. Taking the language out of the offense and just giving these guys the ability to just go and learn on the fly from it. It's my first experience ever with it, and it's phenomenal. I would certainly use it.
Cobalt Plus headset system delivers proven performance along with more users, more flexibility. That's why coaches across Pennsylvania trust Cobalt Plus. CoachComm makes tough headset systems for tough teams. We build headsets to help teams win. Call or click to learn more about Cobalt Plus from the proven leader in football communications.
Circle W Sports is the complete all-in-one platform for high school sports, designed by former athletes, coaches, and athletic directors. Circle W Sports gives school and team personnel an easier solution to run their entire athletic departments with the help of these features. League Manager makes creating master schedules a breeze. Configure your divisions, build schedules, track league all-stars, and much, much more. Referee Manager helps assign and track game officials in the same platform. And with RefPay, your officials can get paid within hours instead of days or weeks. Enjoy live scoring and statistical services through our Performance Tracker and Stat Tracker apps. Learn how to track your workout or camp and combine statistics in real time. Then create any type of report after your results are tallied. The Stat Tracker app helps keep your fans involved, whether they are in the stands or at home, with live in-game stats. For more information, visit CircleWSports.com, the official online platforms of PA Football News and the PSFCA Big 33.
At PAFootballNews.com, we've got you covered. If you're looking for the best coverage of high school football in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, check out PAFootballNews.com. From schedules to rankings, game coverage to Friday night scoreboard, live streams, and more, PA Football News is the one-stop shop for everything high school football in Pennsylvania. Follow us on Twitter at PAFootballNews and visit us at PAFootballNews.com. We got you covered.
All right, here we are. We're back live. And we are at Rotary Field in Schuylkill Haven, and there's a football game going on tonight. We got papers flying all over. Mason's mom's chasing papers everywhere. Throw that water bottle on there. We're going to continue breaking down the brackets. Come on back up here, Dan. All right, let's go back out to Acrisure Stadium. My allergies are kicking my throat's butt. Acrisure, Aliquippa, McKeesport. Aliquippa is Aliquippa. Taquai Hayes is just from Tyke Hayes is doing what he does. He just runs all over the place. Now, Aliquippa doesn't have that great big line, and they're not plowing people over like they did last year.
I kind of like McKeesport. They've been taking out pretty good teams in the playoffs.
McKeesport runs a nice pro option offense. Good football team playing good, solid defense. I think this is going to be more of a battle than people might think. We may not see Aliquippa. We may not see them there. Other side of that bracket, Selinsgrove and Juniata.
Another 8-5 Juniata team who's been heating up the last play.
Let's talk about who Juniata started off with, though. Juniata started off with West Perry and Selinsgrove. And they played a juggernaut of a schedule to start. So that got them ready for the rest of their regular season games. And here we are, Juniata, and they are what they are every year. Juniata comes out of District 6 every year in 4A, and they do a great job.
Blow it out, Jersey Shore, basically. They killed them.
That's one of their other opponents. They played Juniata at the very beginning of the year, and Selinsgrove knocked them out of the park. It's going to be tough for Juniata to get this one. Tucker Teets for Selinsgrove is just an amazing athlete.
Yeah.
He ran for over 300 yards last week. They're on a roll. Big win, over Jersey Shore, emotional win. Then they got the win last week, so I like Selinsgrove in that game. And then on the other bracket, Dallas and Bonner Prendy. Bonner Prendy went to Ireland this year, came back and just slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
And here they are. They're 10-2, and right back in the quarterfinals where they were last year. Bonner Prendy, the Friars, doing great. They had last year. They just come at you as a committee, and they can throw the ball and they can run the ball, and their defense is fast and solid. So Dallas has their work cut out for them.
And Bonner's looking for revenge. Last year they also lost to a D2 4A school in Crestwood, 21-14. in the same type of scenario in the quarterfinals. I think that last year's Crestwood team was better than this year's Dallas team. Dallas is a weird 13-0. I don't consider them too scary. I don't think they're like. I watched them play Berwick. Of course, they blew out Berwick, but I didn't watch them and I was like, wow, this is a 13-0 semifinal type of team. I think Dallas.
But do you think they came through like a not so strong Wyoming Valley Conference?
Maybe that's definitely.
But they did beat they did beat a good Valley View team last
Valley
week.
View team. Valley View were able to get through Wyoming area after Aaron Crossley went down. I think Dallas is going to be hit with a new monster of Bonner. I think we have Dallas over Bonner in the rankings.
Yes.
But, I mean, I'll be there, so I don't want any players after the interview to be like, hey, you picked me to lose and whatnot.
Yeah, don't pick anybody. Just stay neutral. Yeah, that's how to go. And then finally, a game I'm going to, and I'm real excited about this game. I think, a lot of people had Bishop McDevitt pegged to go back with Stone Saunders at quarterback. But boy, does Dave Hahn have Manheim Central rolling. The Barons are on fire. Bryson Arnold is just plowing the yards out, 300 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards a week. They're scoring a lot of points too, Manheim. I'm still not. I don't forgive them for that first week loss, but hey, it is what it is. But Manheim Central scoring points, and McDevitt is not going to have an easy go of it. I mean, Rico Scott and Stone Sanders and all those guys, they're going to have to play really good football against this Manheim Barrows team because Central's defense is also really good. The quarterback is Coach's son. Quarterback is Hahn. Throws the ball very well. He's a good quarterback, does a great job. So I would say out of all the brackets, 4A is probably the most loaded. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So
definitely agree with that.
Moving on to 5A. Peters Township travels north, Cathedral Prep. So there's that travel thing. So let's talk about that right now. This week, a lot of people, my inbox lit up. Right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
So a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with Bob Lombardi, and I said, Bob, because coaches asked me, and I said, what is the selection process for sites? And he said, we changed it this year. Everybody got a note whether they want to admit it or not. He said, everybody was told. All the districts were told. Whether they told their teams or not, it's up to them. But he said, it's home field through quarterfinals, unless there's an issue, like travel or stadium. He said, so quarterfinals. So if anybody has a question, that's your answer. And I don't have a problem with it as long as they keep doing it.
Right.
All right, we didn't do this last year, but if they do it this year, then they got to do it next year, and they got to do it the following year and the following year, because next year, the top half of the bracket, when the brackets flop, those districts need the chance to host.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
I think it makes it easier for the PIAA, too, to pick places out rather than having to scramble to try to find a neutral site. So I talked to some ADs, and they said, they shut down their program. They're getting ready for the winter.
So how they choose a site is before the season starts, the district directors from the PIAA poll their schools to see who's willing to host a playoff game. Mm-hmm. This year, the list was smaller than ever. That people can't, you can't get people to work or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is.
Well, that's like a Blue Mountain. Coach Galvin, he was actually on the sidelines doing the thing.
Cathedral Prep, I got to see Cathedral Prep play. Good football team, fast. They do what they do every year up at Cathedral Prep, but Hollingsworth is unbelievably quick, and they have two guys that can burn it and score at will. Peters Township, on the other hand, Peters Township is a team that plays wide open offensive football and good defense. I think Peters Township can keep up with Cathedral Prep. I don't know if they travel up to Erie and get the win or not. This, to me, is a toss-up game. I've watched Peters on tape. You can't see the speed or size on tape, so I can't say anything. Our guy, Ethan Spazarski, says Peters is the real deal. So look out for that. Delaware Valley Imhotep Charter.
Yeah. Imhotep, they, again, can't take these guys lightly. Delaware Valley, kind of the little bit of an underdog, obviously coming in this game against Imhotep, the powerhouse really in 5A. I think this is one of those games where the underdog hangs in. It's like 7-7 at half or something, and then skill prevails, right? Being the underdog and having the underdog mentality can only take you so far until the skill prevails and Imhotep pulls away in the end. But don't be shocked if you check the scores. It's half. It's a 5-point game, a 7-point game. We're tied.
I agree. Yeah, Del Val. We when we do our rankings, we didn't overlook Del Val. We just kind of moved them down until they went to where they need to be. I mean, again, they opened up with Harrisburg. They opened up with Manheim Township, and they opened up with Selinsgrove.
Yeah. All teams who are
still playing. Yeah. So that's their losses. That's their 3 losses. After that, they rolled. So Cocalico and Ephrata, what a story. First time ever in the playoffs.
Wow. Yeah.
First time ever. And now they're in the quarterfinal. Playing a Cocalico team who is also a wing T kind of triple option offense, and they run it very well. So that's the 4th team we've talked about that runs a triple offense since the quarterfinals.
Seems like that's going to be seems like that's a trend.
Calico
going
11-1. They had a bonehead loss too. Ephrata 12-1. Ephrata's running back is just mowing yards off left and right. This is going to be a good game. The big controversy there, the game's at Cocalico. Cocalico only seats 3,500. All the tickets sold out on Sunday. And they didn't reserve any for the parents.
Oh boy!
Yeah. So there was a big deal going on there. That's something that I'm sure slipped through the cracks, and PIAA will have to look at. That's one of those things where they scrambled, and it is televised for people. So interesting game there. Down to District 1, our guys down in District 1 have this game covered. Chester and Strathaven. Chester with one of the best sophomore quarterbacks in the state of Pennsylvania. Just they keep winning. They're winning and winning and winning, and you can't stop Chester right now. They're playing a Strathaven team who has skidded into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
They've skidded into the quarterfinals. So they're not lighting the world on fire at Strathaven, but they are playing good football.
Right.
And here they are right here. The Panthers are in the quarterfinals. So that's the 5A bracket. Then we're going to finish up the show here, breaking down the 6A bracket with Manheim Township and Harrisburg, Brian.
I will be at that game on Friday night. Harrisburg lost to them 38-6 the first time around. Manheim shut them down to like 190 yards of total offense in that game. So we'll see. They keep saying Harrisburg's gotten better. That was in week 2 or 3. We'll see if Harrisburg does get better and see if it.
Sean Lee versus Hayden Johnson. 47 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Hayden Johnson. Man. Landon Cannell has caught 27 of those touchdowns. I don't think I've ever heard that stat like that in my life.
No.
47-0.
So he could break the record too this week.
So he's got 47.
The receiver's got
passes.
27, you say, right?
Or no, he's got 22.
22. Okay. I was going to say, it'd be cool if both guys break the record.
That would be
off.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. But Sean Lee can get loose. I mean, and just take off. The first play of last week's game broke loose for an 80-yard touchdown.
Now they held him to 90 yards the first game.
Yeah.
He was like 7 of 12 or something like that passing for only like 90 yards.
Yeah. It was still a good game. It was a one-score game this week. So with Harrisburg, they only won by 1 score. So it's going to be a good game there. Manheim Township and Harrisburg, you're in for a nice battle. Kevin Brown on the defensive line for Harrisburg. What a monster. What a beast. Look out for defense there. The other side of that bracket, North Allegheny and McDowell. McDowell is one of those teams that they're up in District 10, and I like Bo Orlando. He's a great coach up there. Not that Bo Orlando. The other Bo Orlando. His name is Brad Orlando. I call him Brad because I have to. McDowell beat State College for the first time in quite a few years to advance on to this game. North Allegheny, big win last week over Central Catholic. They're the champions in the WPIAL 6A champions, and what a big win for North Allegheny, playing good football up there. Logan Kirchner is doing a great job. Down the east, Downingtown West, another huge win last week over East. East was the team that I thought had a chance to beat St. Joe's. But now I think West might have a chance if they played that good against East.
Right.
Central Bucks South rolled over Central Bucks West. Rolled over.
I was shocked at that one.
I mean, most of us were shocked at that score.
Yeah, that score surprised the living daylights out of all of us. So don't count South out over West. We'll have that game covered with all of our guys down there. And then the last one is Nazareth versus St. Joe's Prep. We all know who St. Joe's Prep is. They come at you and they just score points. Though they only scored 35 last week against Lincoln.
Yeah.
I think it's funny, Nazareth, what a win, and their reward, the little St. Joseph's Prep in the next week. That's the reward for that big time
So it's
win.
interesting. So I can't wait to see who moves on and who earns a trip to the chat. We're going to be at the Chap. We're going to have all kind of coverage, but this weekend we have every one of these games covered. We have someone at every single game. So if you want to find out what's going on live, check out our Twitter account, PA Football News, on Friday. We're going to have Follow Friday. I'll tell you who all's at each game, and you can follow them on Twitter to get live updates. For now, for my group, this is Billy Splain. This has been our Bracket Breakdown Show. We'll catch you on the sideline somewhere. Go to a game. Please be at a game this weekend. Don't watch it online. Go to the game.
Exactly.
Join us later.
Or join us later. Hey, see you next week. Thanks a lot. Take us out of here, Brian, or Dan. End the show. Dan's going to end the show, and we'll see you guys later on. Thanks.
Brian Wilson, Brad Jones.
Circle W Sports is the complete all-in-one platform for high school sports, designed by former athletes, coaches, and athletic directors. Circle W Sports gives school and team personnel an easier solution to run their entire athletic departments with the help of these features. League Manager makes creating master schedules a breeze. Configure your divisions, build schedules, track league all-stars, and much, much more. Referee Manager helps assign and track game officials in the same platform. And with Ref Pay, your officials can get paid within hours instead of days or weeks. Enjoy live scoring and statistical services through our Performance Tracker and Stat Tracker app. Learn how to track your workout or camp and combine statistics in real time. Then create any type of report after the results are tallied. The Stat Tracker app helps keep your fans involved, whether they are in the stands or at home, with live in-game stats. For more information, visit CircleWSports.com, the official online platforms of PA Football News and the PSFCA Big 33.